Hey guys, Targeted in Missouri here again. It's been a while, as always. I figured it'd be a good time to make a video because I wanted to put it out there that I had gotten fired Friday, March 31st. Today's Sunday, April 2nd, so a couple days ago. Uh, Not really gang stalking related, I don't believe. However, something I don't think I've ever really mentioned much, or really mentioned, is most of my gang stalking happened to me when gang stalking, vehicular harassment, and things like that happens. Basically, they pretty much attacked me, if that's the way you want to put it, on my way to work, from home from work, and at work. Is pretty much their main chances to do so, because I don't really get out all that much, and it's not really even because of the targeting. I mean, that doesn't help the situation, but it's just I'm more of a gamer type. I'm more of a, some people might call it an introvert or a shut-in or whatever. But when I'm at work, I do what I gotta do. But like, in general life, that's just what I like doing, is gaming. I do like getting out some. Like, I guess I've noticed I feel better when blood gets circulating and everything, and um, I it is really hard to change lives. So I know I could probably still do what I love to do and just try to get out more and change it up a bit, just to try and go in a healthier direction. I really should do that, and maybe I'll try to get around to it one of these days, especially being a target. I know some people say that, like, just certain things, probably too much to go into right now, but certain things can make you, I guess, certain unhealthy habits, situations, too much sugar, etc., can be worse on the targeting, not just unhealthy for you in general, but worse on the targeting. And so that alone for us is probably a good idea to, I guess, whip ourselves into action, I guess. Um, it's mainly really all I wanted to make this video for. But yeah, most of my targeting happened at work. Like, so they, when I was working, they barely probably had a chance to, like, and I was full time, so about 8 hours a day. That was probably their main chance to get at me. Don't get me wrong, I still get the occasional, sometimes more than occasional. It just depends. It's the pattern thing, you guys know all about that shit. So, but like, for now, I'll just say occasionally I do get the car alarm outside the window. They'll probably do it right now or some stupid shit. I get the horn honking. The neighbor parks next to us, and the driveway's like in between houses, and it's really convenient for them to occasionally hit the old clicker, and it may not directly be the neighbor. I don't know, because something I've thought of, and I'm sure I'm not the first target to think of this. But like, if it depends on how deep you want to think into this and go into this, but supposedly the more modern cars are hackable, right, and can be, and they're Wi-Fi enabled and cell tower enabled and all this shit. And I'm not saying I don't believe that. The more newer ones, I'm sure, are. And but I'm thinking, like, how they supposedly get people in the community involved, and they definitely do that. But I'm thinking, like, a lot of the stuff, like the remote neural monitoring and things they can do to us from a distance, the car alarm, and if not all, in some instances, I will probably just stick to some, because I've actually seen people do it, and I'm sure other targets have too, like in a parking lot or something, actually seen people deliberately pretend to goof around and hit their fucking key lock 20 times. But my point is that if they can do some of the car hacking and shit, like remotely, through cell towers or whatever, satellite, I don't know, then they could probably use it as a tool for harassment, especially if it's a car, like they're monitoring like so many people or whatever. It's a car that's been abandoned for a little while, like someone had to go to work and they have like a long shift, and like you happen to be on that parking lot, and they could maybe use like a remote thing for it to set it off. And I'm not saying that does happen, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least with all the tech that they are using. Um, but regardless, I occasionally get the car horn clicker thing. The neighbor or whatever sometimes doing that. Or like I said, if it is done remotely, I don't fucking know. Either way, so occasionally I'll get that, or car alarms, or sometimes like when it's warmer weather, and it may not be harassment, but there was a point in time where they were doing it several days on end, or every time I was on my off days. So it's hard to tell, but my neighbor was like burning some shit out in the yard and in his yard, and the smell was coming real strong in my room, and it's like that kind of smoky smell that can give you a headache, at least for me. Um, but other than that, if I'm home, I mean, right now, with like the regular gang stalking stuff, they really, you know, they had a better shot at like the harassment and shit while I was at work. However, I know a lot of people are suffering from the electronic weapons and everything, so and when they're in their house, they're still attacked, and so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if they're eventually going to use that on me. And I think to an extent they are. And I'm definitely sure, pretty damn sure, unless they got some really good prediction software, which people say that exists too. And I'm sure, well, I mean, I'm sure it does exist to an extent. Um, Pardon me, guys, like, if you start to watch very many of my videos, or if I was to put out more videos, you'll see that I don't really do a whole hell of a lot of research. And I'm going to try and change that. I need to do that more. Right now, I need to focus on getting another job if I can. I know the targeting is probably going to make that worse. I don't really know what I can do. I've been contemplating, like, if I get an interview, I mean, I would have to use the right words and be very careful how I say it, but I've been contemplating say, hey, watch out for disinformation spread about me. And obviously I can't straight up probably say that, because that would sound pretty fucked up in an interview, and I'm sure you definitely wouldn't land a job there. But anyway, it's kind of sidetracking, but yeah, I'm certain they probably do have the prediction softwares. Just to what extent can it actually work and stuff like that? And I know there's patents on a lot of this stuff, like the voice to skull, which I don't currently get, but I know for sure because I've seen the patent on that. But and I know I'm sure there's military patents and stuff for the other stuff. However, yeah, I pretty much still just get the gang stalking, but I do want to say that I'm I I mean, I'm certain because of certain circumstances I get remote neural monitoring, um, to the extent that exists. Like I believe it exists to a level, but not to a level that they probably want you to believe. Like the perps or sick people behind this. Um, I don't know. It's really hard to tell in my case. Maybe some other people are more perceptive and can know better, like, or have done more research and know how far they can actually take that technology, which probably wouldn't surprise me if it's very damn far. But I think in anything they're doing, but especially that, because it makes you feel helpless. If you were to tell someone, and assuming they would believe you, no one would believe this shit. And they don't. And that's why we're still fucking out here being tortured with this shit. But assuming you could convince a person that this exists, and someone was like basically monitoring their brain activity and everything they're doing it via technology that remotely streams energy to their mind and monitors everything internally, externally, like a lot of their bio stuff, and just a lot of things around them, like what they hear, what they see, whatever. Like if you told someone that, they would feel totally helpless and imprisoned. And to whatever extent it does exist with us, I'm sure they want us to believe it's on a much higher scale or whatever than it actually is. Like I still believe, even though I know I know the microwave hearing exists, V2K, voice of God weapon, whatever, and I believe I've seen enough testimony and other things where I do believe that all the electronic weapon stuff pretty well exists to an extent, and there are being people being tortured. There really are, um, but I believe, however, that a lot of this is still smoke and mirrors, despite of how trapped you feel and everything. I think a lot of it is smoke and mirrors to make us feel all that worse about it. Like we're in a form of prison or cell or something. And I think even just a lot of the regular tier gang stalking is used for that. Because in my case, I don't know if they've done this to any of y'all, but like in my case, you know how they use the vehicular stalking. Well, sometimes they don't always do this. I don't know how they base their patterns. I mean, I had a couple ideas or theories that pop in and out of my head, and just different stuff. I'm constantly actually thinking of different stuff, but I'm sure most of it's bullshit. Just different stuff that could be why they're doing what, or why they're doing these patterns this way or whatever. But anyway, and I know they want you to get lost in confusion on that. But aside from that, what I was going to say is some of the vehicular stalking, they'll get these dog cages and shit in the back of trucks, and they want you to look at that. Like this has happened like several times a day. You know when it's part of your protocol in the stalking, when it happens several times a day. So I will get like trucks parked by in whichever direction I'm walking or going, or pull in front of me, whatever, with these cages, dog cages or whatever because and I know that sounds stupid, but that's just like part of just anything they can throw on you, even like on the gang stalking level, which is what I pretty much just go through. Anything they can use to make you have a dark feeling, like a hold down feeling, like a depressed feeling, like you're trapped in a cage or whatever. So they'll use that to make you feel even worse, at least in my case. So yeah, but it's all meant to. I just don't think. I think they use stuff in gang stalking and other ways to try and make us think that it is worse than it is, or that they have more power than they do, or like a lot of deception and manipulation. But either way, they do have these dangerous weapons that need to be taken out of their hands, and these tactics and these idiot people, whether they're working for DHS or whatever the fuck this is, that need to be taken off the streets, and probably half of them, if not more, thrown in jail. The reason I say that is because some, I firmly believe, probably either think they're doing good, really, or they either think they're doing good or they don't realize they're doing it or doing something bad. I don't know. But I'm sure at least a few of them have to know. And the ones that know they're doing this shit and are doing it for money or gift cards, bribe, whatever, they need to be put in jail. So just anyone knowing this is being done on purpose and not informing the right people, not trying to get this taken down, anyone participating probably needs to go to jail. They're scumbags. They're criminals. for doing this to innocent people. They're to an extent murderers. It depends on which ones you're talking about, I guess, but this program does nothing good. I guess the folks at the top probably think it is for them, but it's running America, running the world. It's just screwing all sorts of stuff. Even I guarantee you, even though the majority, I don't guess, are targets or aren't aware, like it's interfering and ruining a lot of their lives, and they may not know it, but I think it is. But that's, I guess, pretty much it. I mean, I just wanted to provide that little bit of an update. Oh, I guess, yeah, one last thing. I was talking about remote neuromonitoring or whatever, and I sometimes, I don't know, they might be starting a little directed energy on me. I mean, like, I just don't know if they started off slow. It's probably different for the targets, but I get like this burnings. It's not a really like unbearable pain, so it may be something else, but on the sides of my legs, and here a little more recently, it's even been a little on my feet. It's kind of, I've kind of had like a burning sensation, but mostly like on the side of my legs, like right here. Same thing on my other leg. It's like the side of my, I guess that would be thigh or whatever. It's burning a little, and also tones in my ears, and I know that it's probably even normal people get that, but like here recently in the past few weeks, it's been happening a lot more. It's not like a loud screeching sound that a lot of targets talk about, but it's like just the occasional tone that'll last maybe 10-15 seconds and gradually dissipate or whatever. But it's been happening a lot more often. Even before I got fired, which was like a couple days ago before I lost my job. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing that annoys me, but I'm thinking that's probably the entrainment, because I watch other people's videos, mainly a specific one, well, a specific 2 or 3 people. I mean, I try to watch more. It's just hard to find time and still do everything else I need to try to do to try and live a normal life, even though it's hard. But yeah, so someone said something like that might be entrainment if I was understanding them right. But it's yeah, so it's like a tone that gradually dissipates 5, 10, 15 seconds, but been happening a lot more. So I don't know, they might be entraining my mind more, and like, cause I don't know. I think it may depend on the target, the person. Maybe they can like map their brain or whatever faster than others, but I think that maybe maybe it takes longer to engage on some of the weapons or whatever with protocol, with whatever they're doing on some. I don't know. I mean, I hope in my case I don't have to experience that at all. I hope as many targets don't have to experience that at all. And the ones that are, this program needs to come to an end quick, and I hope it does for you guys. And I'll be praying for you, and everybody pray for all these people that's being tortured. But yeah, it just needs to end. And my video is coming up on 20 minutes, and I think I've pretty well said what I needed to say. So just update. Again, I don't think my termination was because of gang stalking related. I mean, it could have been, because it was something very kind of regular. I kind of think the manager was more nitpicking than anything. I don't know if I want to go into details much. I mean, it wasn't really anything bad, but still, it's just so stupid. I think the manager was nitpicking more than anything, and but I don't know. I mean, it could have been someone pushing, telling her I did this or did that to try and like, or I'm not following something exactly the way I should be um, to perform what I need to perform to do my daily job activities or job duties or whatever. And so, I don't know. I mean, someone could have like put a, oh, there was a saying I was trying to think of. Oh, well, I forgot. But basically, someone could have like nodded her way or whatever, said something just to try to push it, because I was already on some coachings for some nonsense stuff that happened before, mostly nonsense anyway. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if like a perp or whatever, whoever they have for the disinformation, had somehow like pretending to be a customer and called her and told her or complained, whatever. I don't know. Either way, I no longer currently have a job. I'm already at it, applying a bunch, looking hard. That's pretty much the update. Maybe I'll get some more videos out soon. Maybe I won't. And I'm sorry if I don't either way. Trying to do what I can. I need to try to do more for the community. Try to get on the calls. I've been on the calls, just pretty well listening. I don't know if anyone on the calls watches these videos, but if you've been on the calls when I've been in the chat room, you've probably seen me in the chat room, but I need to get on the calls and I guess establish my presence a little bit better in the community. I don't know. Either way, hope you guys get a lot more peace in your life. Hope you prosper. Hope you do better. Hope this ends. Hopefully this year. I mean, it may be a lot to ask for, but you know, this shouldn't be happening in the first place. So I really hope so. If not this year, either way, no matter what, we got to keep trying to push. So I'll be praying for y'all, and I love y'all, and just, this needs to go away. All right, take care, guys. Targeted Missouri out. Bye.